Morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, February 12th, 2020.
Commissioner Villegas, James, and Caloza are present. President James, you do have a quorum. May we start with bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Sanitation.
Highway Sanitation, Eva Sung.
Good morning, Streets LA, Sherman Torres.
Good morning, Michael Patnay, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Jay Wong, Street Lighting.
Roosevelt Bagney, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did receive one speaker card under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We also received a speaker card on item number 1, 2, 5, and 6 for today's agenda.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and take care of agenda item number 1, which is our bids this morning on the Highway Safety Improvements Program, Cycle 6, the Rectangular Rapid Flash Beacon Project. It's a federal project. The estimate of $2,466,797 in virtually every council district in the city. Dr. Campos, I didn't hear a speaker card on number 1, so you can go ahead and start.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. We did receive 5 bids today for today's project. The first bid is from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,745,369 even. That's $3,745,369 from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated. The second bid received for this project is from Select Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,323,259 even. That's $3,323,259 from Select Electric Incorporated. The next bid received for this project is from International Line Builders Incorporated for a total bid amount of $4,395,337 even. That's $4,395,337 from International Line Builders Incorporated. For the record, line item number 48, 49, 61, and 62, and 77 have been lined out by the contractor and have been initialed. There is use of whiteout on line item number 61, 77, 48, and 49. The fourth bid received for this project is from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dyna Electric. For a total bid amount of $4,102,574 even. That's $4,102,574 from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dyna Electric. For the record, line item number 55 has been lined out and initialed by the contractor. That line item number should read $3,154. In addition to that, line item number 71 has been initialed by the contractor. That line item number is 71, should read $13,044, even 13044. The fifth and final bid received from this project for this project is from Elecnor Balco Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,469,589. Let me start that again. $3,469,589 even. That's $3,469,589 from Elecnor Balco Electric Incorporated. For the record, line item number 26, 27, 92, 86 have been lined out and initialed by the contractor. Mr. President, that concludes the bid openings for today's agenda.
Okay, thank you. No questions. Is there a second to my motion for an order that the bids have been received, opened, and declared forthwith? By Commissioner Caloza. Thank you both. Any objection? Without objection, that will be the order on agenda item number 1. Mr. Sachs, you have a card on general public comment, sir. Go ahead. Councilman Labange, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for being here this morning.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. And I like to read the newspapers. I like to go to the meetings and listen to what's being said. I've become pretty good at deciphering some of the language. So there's a lot being talked about because we have council elections coming up. And whether you listen or not, I'm just going to give my opinion. So in the 10 years I've been coming to the meetings, there's been a few changes. Not necessarily all for the good, but nevertheless there has been some changes. A lot of people have made a lot of money off of some of the things I've suggested, but that's their business. That being said, in 2008, the federal government came together with America Fast Forward. The state of California, the county, and the city received a truckload of money. That was in 2008 to battle the recession in Obama's first year. In 2012, Congress enacted the Affordable Care Act. Again, California, county, and the city received another truckload of money, and that was in 2012. Now it's 2020. Yesterday's board meeting, they had a discussion about homelessness. Oh, and by the way, Mayor James Hahn, when he was mayor in 2001, put together a homeless plan, but it was voted down because it was too expensive. That was in 2001, and I don't know what the homeless count was at that time. Yesterday's meeting, they talked about how they've been discussing homelessness for 30 years. The homeless population now is 60,000 people in the county of Los Angeles. There are towns that are smaller than the amount of people that are on the street in the county of Los Angeles. 2 truckloads of money have passed through the city and the county and the state for that fact.
2 minutes.
And nothing's been done.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs.
Vote according to your conscience.
Mr. Labange, sir.
Who I met Sunday at Troop 10's great pancake breakfast at St. James Church on the Wilshire District. And he had this idea, and you're the first people that I thought of, because it could take away the trash that goes to the landfill. I want you to pretend you're not Tom Brady anymore, but you're Mahomes, and you're going to throw a touchdown with this man. He's going to explain to you, he comes from India, he lives in the Wilshire District, and I thought of you, and here he is, Mr. Robert Gupta, for 1 minute.
No, he can take 2 or 3 if he would like. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, good morning. Tom brought me here because I am working to do away with single-use plastic as much as possible, plus all the takeout containers which contain either plastic or chemicals. We're trying to innovate with something very simple, palm leaves, pretty much in their natural form, and build out different artifacts that'll be very useful. I brought some samples what we are working on. So the next things coming up are forks, which can't be caught by the recycling machines either, and they get used by the millions. Right now, this is more of a cottage industry because I work with small farms, small artisans, but it has the potential to grow bigger. It probably may not, if I can serve Los Angeles and its surrounding areas, I'd be very happy.
So what I would want is just some direction, which one of the bureaus. See, Mr. Jordan, is that correct? Mr. Jordan, you give the leadership there. You're the coach on the sideline. But where does he go to help advance the cause that we all want?
Mr. Gupta, do you have a business card with you?
I do.
So I would leave maybe 2 or 3 of them with Dr. Campos, our executive officer. We're going to see that the appropriate person at sanitation receives it. We'll start at sanitation. We have a number of sanitation reps here. I will tell you that to Commissioner Colosa's credit, and I was the witness, at a recent event, as well as at other sanitation events, we have used, I believe, these. We have not seen, I like the one with the cover on it.
Right.
We had not seen that one yet.
Yes, so the plates are more common,
Yeah.
it's not an
We've
innovation.
used these, but we like these.
Right, so the other things are, so let me pass around some.
And he has a
And
whole
we have the-
list, so
yeah.
we just got to get him someone.
Yeah, so, but leave us with your business cards.
Business card, we'll do that.
Absolutely, we'll do that.
I thank you. It's great to be here in the Ed Roy Ball Chamber of the Public Works. It's all about public works. It really is. It makes the neighborhood special. And there's special people out here from Public Works Department who all should be recognized, make a difference. My collector of 20 years ago is going to be honored soon because he's a great volunteer for 10 years. So it brings me good chills to see you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Councilman, thank
Thank
you.
you for your
Good to
time.
see you again. Thank you, sir, Mr. Gupta. Appreciate it. No more cards on general public comment, so that will close general public comment for the morning. Let's go ahead. We have a retirement celebration this morning for Gennaro Rodriguez. Mr. Garcia from Sanitation is in the house. Pepe, how are you, sir?
Doing very well. Thank
Always
you very
good to
much.
see you here.
President James, thank you very much. So yeah, we're here to recognize GR, as we refer to him, Genaro Rodriguez Perez. He keeps changing his name, so we know him as GR. But he's a retired employee. He's a retired refuse collection truck operator for 10 years. Prior to that, he put 27 years of service for LA San and the city of LA. But we're recognizing him today because just about every year of his retirement, he has participated in every open house LA San has, every open house event that we have had in the last 10 years. All that comes with the setting up, the logistics, the tear down, the coordination, the handing out of t-shirts, the morning breakfast, dealing with all the employees that volunteered and participate in the open house for all the constituents that come by. And it's not just singular, he comes out of North Central, but he travels throughout all 6 districts and provides the same service. It's like his routine. So I just wanted to add that, when you retire, you probably we don't miss the work, we miss the people that we come in contact with. In my 32 years, a lot of my coworkers have retired, and probably 99% of them, you don't hear from them, or you hear someone say a little bite of where they're at and what they're doing and how they're doing. Genaro here, GR, is that 1%. He's built those relationships and kept in contact with all of us that grew up together and continue to do so. We have such a relationship that we continue to have it with all the executives that you know of. We have a once a month pantry meeting, and the argument there is who's going to pay. So just a little bite. When I first met Genaro, and President James, please bear with me. I met him as he was interacting with labor management meetings with Enrique as he established the joint meetings labor relationships. And I always saw Genaro with a briefcase, wherever he went, to these meetings, to his truck, to his car. And I kept asking him what was in there, and I came to the conclusion that was because he looked so official and such a presence of a lawyer, that must have been his lunchbox. So we continue to have that dialogue about what was actually in that briefcase, because I still to this day do not know. But anyways, so we are here and we're presenting on behalf of the Board of Public Works. We appreciate your dedication and commitment to volunteering at open houses for over 10 years. Thank you, GR. We would also...
Don't drop it, GR.
We love those.
There's one other thing Pepe didn't add about GR. At all the open houses, all the perishable food, GR comes down here to the mission and donates it. But I have forced him to help us on Earth Day, and after the last 4 Earth Days, we load GR's pickup truck up with all the perishable food, and he brings it down here to the homeless, delivers it to the mission.
So,
I'm not speechless, but thank you one and all. I greatly appreciated the friendships that I've developed with these guys and maintained is precious to me. I hope to continue it for years to come. Let's see where it goes.
thank you, sir. Let me just.
I want to introduce Sylvia, his wife, that is here to accompany and celebrate with him.
So, congratulations, GR, and to Sylvia, you as well. GR, you know, one of the things we honor these retirement celebrations, but we do so with the clear acknowledgement of the loss of the institutional knowledge and the love that you have for the city of Los Angeles and the work that you've done and the colleagues and obviously all the residents in the city of Los Angeles. The work that you've done around the open houses, it is one of the most popular events that the city puts on. That's a regular event anywhere in our boundaries around the city of Los Angeles. The number of people, when you talk about sanitation's open house, you know, people don't necessarily, until they think about it for a moment, realize just why it's such a popular event. There's always a big turnout. You know, the way that that LA San manages the event and quite frankly produces the event, it's the best in community. And young people learn a lot, older people learn a lot, and everyone walks away with such a positive impression of our city employees and of sanitation. I was able to spend the day with sanitation for the Martin Luther Kingdom Day Parade, the Martin Luther King Jr. Kingdom Day Parade in South LA a couple of weeks ago. And riding with the crew through the parade, it was, you could feel the energy of the people, the hundreds of thousands that lined the streets that day with their appreciation for the work that you all do every day. And it was a very special opportunity to get to sit in our truck and feel that energy from the public that you serve. And so while I want to say congratulations and thank you for your amazing service, please know that you don't leave without some anxiety on our part, because your knowledge and experience and love for the city we can't replace. But one of the best things that sanitation does is find a way to keep their nationally, internationally recognized services top-notch across the city when we do have this natural progression of careers and milestones in life. So thank you for your service and your dedication, not just in the work that you did, sir, but in the volunteering that you did on behalf of all of us as well. So
thank you very much appreciated.
Commissioner Caloza?
Thank you, President James. And just to add to that, you know, my only regret is that we're only meeting now, but just hearing about your service to the city, both not just at work, but outside of work, is really inspiring. And that you really not only care about what you do, it seems like you really love what you do, and you're not only you know, working at sanitation in the daytime, but you're really, again, making those connections with the community. And that's really important and something that I think we can all do a little bit more of. And thank you also for making Pepe look so good in your 10 years of service. I'm sure he'll have to go find and recruit a new superstar volunteer for these open houses, but hopefully we can still see you at the events, even though, you'll be leaving us for the time being, but it's not too late to change your mind, so thank you for your service.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you, and I just wanted to echo the sentiments of my colleagues as well. We take it for granted, a lot of the work that goes on, but there's so many people that do dedication and out of love and appreciation for the city. So we really appreciate everything that you've done, and we will leave a little hole, here just because all the knowledge goes with you, but hopefully, we'll be able to pick up and emulate your actions. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. GR, yes, sir. So we, Pepe, if we could grab a quick photo, and please bring one of the best trophies in the city of Los Angeles with you. And we'll take just a moment's recess, and then we'll be right back on our agenda. Okay, thank you, everyone. Returning to our agenda. Agenda item, just a housekeeping issue on agenda item number 2, Council District 6. Mr. Drucker? On number 2, I recognize that the Bureau is requesting a continuance. Do you want to continue this for just a week and to give some time to because I recognize there's been a change to what the ask is, so you have some time to brief a couple more commissioners and then decide to go forward, or you just want to continue it for more time?
I think I'd like to continue it for a week at this time, President
Okay.
James, and then we'll come back next week and hopefully
See
we can
where
work
we are.
it out. Exactly.
Okay. So, Dr. Campos, can we put this over to a week from today, which will be February 19th?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Then agenda item number 2 will be put over. We'll have the public hearing at that time as well.
Thank you so
So
much.
we'll put that over until February 19th. Thank you, sir. So agenda item number 3, sanitation, budget increase, task order solicitation number A3-18-01 for CH2M Hill Engineers, recommending that the board approve a cost ceiling increase from $2 million to $3,899,509 to fund the continual support for the Los Angeles Wastewater Integrated Network Systems. That's our LA WINS program management services that are provided by CH2M Hill. And Mr. Alavi, go right ahead, sir. I know this is for some of our tech type services.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Bureau reps, and my name is Sam Alavi from LSN, WST. A little background, we had an on-call contract background. On July 1st, 2013, Board of Public
Would you speak up just a little bit more into the microphone, sir, for our record? Thank you.
Right. So Board of Public Works, we advertised and issued a personal request for qualification to provide as-needed development and support services for automation technology. And then on November 16, 2015, the board awarded a 5-year contract with the optional 5-year extension with the 9 qualified firms in 6 separate service areas. Now, as far as LA WINS, a little bit background, on December 14, 2011, the Board of Public Works awarded the contract to Honeywell for the construction in the amount of $88 million plus, with a contingency of about 10% for $8.6 million, a total of $97 million. So the contract provides mobilization, furnishing all materials, equipment, tools, and transportation, performance of necessary labor and construction for all the works for the 5 segments of the LA WINS, which are the 5 treatment plants and the collection system. Now, to administer this huge contract, the Bureau in 2011 awarded CH2M Hill contract number C113313 from the ICSC as needed consulting contract list to manage the large contract with of the Honeywell's contract. The contract expired December 2018, December 31st, 2018, and then while there was still a lot of work what remained. So we issued a TOS under the new ICSC contracts, contract 127359, and awarded the CH2M Hill to secure consulting services for technical management of the LA WINS contract. And they were the only one that they responded to a TOS, and the work of the construction and commissioning of all segments was finished by December of 2019, and the contract, the LA WINS contract, will continue with the maintenance phase through 2028. So, unfortunately, because for many reasons, the construction, which was supposed to be finished back in August of 2019.
2019, correct?
2019.
Right.
Right. So there were some issues that, including the fact that there were some claims by Honeywell, and the Honeywell could not finish the construction in time. And so so and also the closeout activities is still going on. We have to have as-built, for example, as-built drawings, the numerous tests, and that has to be reviewed by the PMO, it's CSU Mill or Jacobs. So therefore, we had to ensure that the CSU Hill contract or Jacobs contract support for the Elewin's administration continues. We had negotiation with CSU Hill, and then they were the only proposer that they applied and they proposed, and they were selected. So also on October 24th, CSU Hill informed LSN that as of December 15, 2017, CSU Hill and Jacobs were merged. So Jacob is the entity we're dealing with. As far as the business inclusion program, they exceeded all the targets, all what they proposed. And for example, the commitment for WBE, SPE, EBE, they were like 10%, they had like 16%, and also for WBE, SPE, there are different categories of these minority businesses. They have exceeded all those numbers. All right, so basically that's what we are, and we're going to continue to
So just
have the services of
a
Jacobs.
few comments, and Mr. Pusti, you work on this as well, right? What's that? So I'm just acknowledging
Good morning, Mr. President. How are you?
that you're here. I don't have any questions necessarily specifically for either of you yet, but I want to make a couple of points. First of all, regarding CH2M Hill and their business inclusion program and their subcontracting statistics regarding inclusion, Commissioner Davis is not here today, but I've sat as a seatmate of his for almost 7 years. If there's one contractor with the City of Los Angeles that Commissioner Davis calls out for their success in this area, it's CH2M Hill. And I know that Mr. Alavi pointed out that they have exceeded what the goals were on this project as well. So it's something, I know they've received awards for it, it's something that we continue to appreciate. Regarding, though, this, the continuation of this contract with LA Winds, CH2M Hill's been working on this, and I know they're Jacobs, we're aware, everybody's aware of the merger, but they've been working on this for a long time. It was not a surprise when we put out a toss to our list that we end up, albeit maybe disappointing that we don't have more competition here. CH2M Hill has been working this for years in a way that has been beneficial to sanitation. It's understandable when you consult with the other potential contractors there, they're not going to spend the time necessarily to step into this arena unless they feel like they have something different or superior to offer, which has not been the case.
Absolutely correct, Mr. President. And we were hoping that other also consultants participate in that thing. But the learning curve is so much higher for the other ones that it will not be cost effective after talking to them. So therefore, Jacobs and the CH had...
So that foundation leads me to my question, and for either of you, but this contract, and recognizing it's gone through a couple of iterations, it's going to continue for a while for the advanced work that sanitation does. Ali, where do we see it going in the longer term?
So we are in the wrapping up phase of the construction. There are 2 phases or 3 phases to this particular project. There was one engineering phase at the very beginning, and then there was one construction and implementation phase that we are wrapping up. and then we'll go into the maintenance phase. The maintenance phase is going to take us from the end of this construction phase that we are in right now until almost 2028. So the overall program was a 17-year program, and we are just in the middle of it right now. So we have another 7 or 8 years to go for the maintenance. However, we are also transitioning, thanks to CH2M Hill and their expertise, into our city staff to take over that maintenance phase. So we feel that our employees are trained enough to be able to take over that responsibility and phase out Jacobs, our CH2M.
And that's something that we've heard from our labor partners. They've been very interested in that kind of training for our city staff to phase that in to the people that we have working full-time for the city.
Absolutely.
So given the time frame that you've painted, does sanitation feel like we're on time? Are we on schedule? I know that there have been some claims that have come in. There's always been communication with Honeywell and such. But do you feel like we're marching along on schedule?
Absolutely. I think we will be able to wrap this up, the construction and the closeout phase, within the next few months. And before the end of the year, we should be able easily to phase in into the maintenance phase.
Okay. Commissioner Colozo.
Thank you, President James, and for adding some of the additional background that I think is really helpful. I agree that business inclusion numbers are really positive, and really thank CH2M Hill for their work on that. I'll channel a bit of Commissioner Davis as well, since I'm in his seat today. But there's also a few other things that I thought might be helpful just to add for context. Sure. For me specifically, I think this was the first time I saw this item, so thank you to the sanitation team for briefing me on all your work on this project. I know it's been many, many, many years in the making. But could you just give us like a quick summary of like the total cost of this entire project? I think that's just helpful to contextualize as it relates to this specific item, since we are asking for a budget increase.
Correct. So the construction cost itself, the project itself is about $88 million and change that it was awarded to the Honeywell company. Plus 10% contingency, that brought up the project about to $97 million. Construction, the consultant fee we are asking for is about $3 million now, and we had to spend almost $3 million prior to this. So I would say about somewhere, don't have that exact number in my mind, but I think it's somewhere between $6 to $7 million that has been spent overall from the inception till completion.
And then just in terms of, I know this is an ongoing project until 2028, but for this specific phase to wrap up the construction, does sanitation anticipate that this is the last? We'll ask for a budget increase to wrap up the construction?
There are, as President James pointed out, there are a number of claims that has been filed by Honeywell, and it depends how those negotiations go. If they negotiate, we hope that we are able to now wrap up those negotiations with existing staff that we have and the amount of time that we have allocated. And we'd like to keep it on that. But there is always a chance that may exceed. Hopefully this will be the last exercise that we'll have in this, in extending this contract at this time.
I see. And just to elaborate a little bit on the system that we're replacing and why this improvement, we're making this large investment. What was the system we had before LA Winds?
So let me just take you a little bit back into the background on this. So during the Hyperion Full Secondary, which happened like in 1980s and 90s, because of we were on court-mandated consent decree to finish the project within certain times, we had a number of different contractors do the work. Each contractor came in with their low bid, and they put in their own control system in place. So at the end of a few years ago, about 10, 12 years ago, when the contract, or actually secondary was finished, we ended up with this hodgepodge of control systems, several different ones. At that, and then as time went by, some of these systems became obsolete. There was no more longer parts available. To the degree that we had, for some of our systems, we had to go eBay and buy the parts. So that's just kind of prompted us to reinitiate this project and have this a uniform system in place, where our all 4 treatment plants and collection systems have now one uniform system. And that makes it a lot easier in operators training, in our operations, and it would overall save a lot of money for the city.
Thank you for sharing that. I thought that was helpful when Sam mentioned it as well. I was shocked that we were ordering parts from eBay for the old system. I don't have any additional questions. Just wanted to thank you three again for taking the time to explain to me what your project was.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Thank you, gentlemen. I don't have any further questions. I do know that there are representatives from CH2M Hill here today. We appreciate their taking their time to come by, and I know they heard the message about we like their frankly leadership on the business inclusion process. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioners Caloza and Villegas, so that'll be the order on number 3. Any issues sending it forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Olavi, as well. Good to see you, sir. Agenda item number 4, construction orders for Mladen Buntage Construction Company, Incorporated. This is emergency sewer repair in the North Outfall Sewer Unit 17 project. In Council District 13, a joint report from Sanitation and Engineering recommending that the board authorize a construction budget of a not-to-exceed amount of $3,406,374 for the emergency sewer repair North Outfall Sewer Unit 17 project. Secondly, authorize the city engineer to award the project to the lowest responsible bidder, Mladen Buntage Construction Company, from the on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repair contractors list. And third, authorize the city engineer to issue multiple construction orders up to the authorized construction budget to Mladen Buntage Construction, as necessary, of course, to complete the project. On agenda item number 4, one moment, sir. Mr. Sachs on number 4.
Yes, thank you again, Arnold Sachs. Number 4, a couple of different questions here. It's an emergency sewer and storm drain repair list. Does the city have just, I don't know, an ordinary sewer storm drain maintenance list of contractors, which would be different than the emergency list? Item number 2 refers to a pre-qualified on-call list. We have an on-call list. Do you have a maintenance list, again, for just normal city regular maintenance that goes around and looks at the different infrastructure in the city and says, you know what, this infrastructure is 75 years old. Maybe we ought to look into replacing it before it becomes an emergency. Then, dealing with the bids. So you have an authorized contract here for like $3.4 million. On the first item, you had put out bids, and every bid, the lowest bid you had was $1 million over your projected cost. How does that work? How do you have an emergency bid that you issue a ceiling number on, which is $3.4 million, and then you have, I don't know, engineers, consultants look at a contract for a highway safety improvement program, and it's $1 million less than the 5 bidders that you receive bids from. There's a gap there, in case anybody's wondering. And again, is this money coming from, I don't know, America Fast Forward funds from 2008? Where exactly is this fund coming from? Maybe Prop C, maybe Measure C, Measure M, maybe Measure R. We don't have an idea. Thank you.
Thank you. The board report references funding from the WSSRB Construction Fund. We have a speaker card also on number 4 from Antonio Ramirez.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to stop the fraud, waste, and abuse. What we need to do is, for these huge contracts and emergency sewer repairs, which is throughout LA, We need to award to the most honest, reliable, well-disciplined, thorough, professional, competent, astute, prudent, ethical, knowledgeable, brilliant, ethical, and a noble desire to serve the people of Los Angeles. We don't want a company like the City Hall public servants who cut corners and take shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in life. You do it the right way, and there's only one way of doing it. Stop giving it to your friends as a favor and put us taxpayers out on the streets. So I'm asking you, I'm demanding, stop wasting money and stop giving it to your homies. Hire ethical contractors who deserve it, who want to serve the greater good of Los Angeles and the people of Los Angeles. That's all people. And let's start cleaning up all these sewage pipes, and let's remedy all the infrastructure. Let's do construction, and let's do everything that needs to be repaired throughout this city. We are in shambles, and we are caving in. And God bless America.
Mr. Ahmed.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Iftikhar Ahmed from Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater Conveyance Construction Division. I'm here for your approval of North Outfall Sewer Unit 17 project construction budget and to issue construction orders. This project will rehabilitate sewer that was built 90 years ago. It's a concrete sewer lined with tiles. A recent closed-circuit television inspection has revealed that the tiles that protects the sewer has been falling, and many of the tiles are missing, and the sewer is in a very deteriorated condition. Falling tiles from the sewer may create voids leading to the surface collapse underneath the commercial building. One of the pictures you will see that the sewer passes underneath warehouses, and one of those buildings is currently used by Universal Studio. Due to the potential sewer failure, rehabilitation of this sewer is considered emergency urgent necessity. An urgent necessity request has been sent to us, and then Bureau of Engineering did an expedited design. And after the design, we have advertised this project to all the contractors on the on-call list. Out of all the contractors that has received the bids, 5 of them received the advertisement, 5 submitted the bids, and those bids range from 9.3 to 2.9 million.
Mr. Ahmed, I always have a bid summary sheet. We can't find one. Can you share yours?
I have that with me. I thought it was one of the attachment, but.
Great, thank you.
Or if it is the right one.
Yeah, this isn't the format of the bid summary sheet that I get, but okay, go ahead. I can figure this out. Go ahead.
Okay. So the 5 bids that we received range from 9 million to 2.956, 374, which is from Maladen Buntage.
That was a wide range.
Yeah, quite a wide range.
Yeah.
But, this is the emergency things then, because the contractors have to mobilize immediately, so some contractors bid separately. So Maladen bids are the lowest and responsive and responsible bid, and we recommend Maladen to be awarded this contract. There is no impact to the general fund. Funding for this project will come from Sewer Green Bond Fund. So BOE recommends that board approve a construction budget of $3,406,374, which includes the construction contingency. Thank you.
Thank you. There was, you pretty much had one bid that was in the range. All the other ones were more than 15% above. Any understanding why or any thought, maybe I'm asking you to speculate, why the median range, which I don't really have on this sheet, but I can guesstimate, is probably about 4.4 million, which is going to be 70% higher than the bid we actually got.
Yeah. See, this nature of this job is very complicated. It's a large sewer, and it's a slip lining, and Maladen has done similar projects before with one in Studio City. Maybe they are more experienced, they're more comfortable.
Well, they're very close to the city estimate.
Yeah.
You all are confident that they can get that done, and it's good we got their bid in.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Coloza.
I'm just going to add a few other things as background, since there was some concerns raised, but can you just give maybe like a brief overview of our North Outfall sewer system and why these are being done on an emergency basis, and also if you include how old this infrastructure is?
Okay. So North Outfall Sewer was built somewhere between 1920 to 1930 at different times. The sewer comes somewhere from the valley, which is not near Tillman area. It follows all along the LA River alignment, and then it comes through Glendale, and then it goes through the downtown, and then it ends somewhere near the South LA area, and then goes outfall, ends up to the Hyperion treatment plant. But this sewer is very old. So those days, the sewer were built with a concrete sewer, and it was lined with the clay tiles. So what happens, those clay tiles, somehow the drops falls, and when the clay tile falls, the sewer gases, which is a hydrogen sulfide, corrodes the sewer. So the concrete, when it comes to the hydrogen sulfide, it corrodes very quickly, and slowly, when it falls, the sewer completely collapses. And this is the trend we have seen from all the NOS, which is a north outfall sewer. And the downstream side of it, which is now near, let's suppose those areas like near Atwater, and then our Lincoln Heights, these are the sewers now we are working. Many of them we are working, also repairing with a regular bid, also at the emergency. So there is one of the large emergency is Unit 12, which is very close to Avenue 19, which is currently in construction. And there will be more of NOSs you will be seeing in front of the board for either through the regular bid or through the emergency repair.
And so just to really hammer in on one of the points that you mentioned, so, and this also listed in the board report, but our sewer system is about 90 years old or so, right?
Yes.
And you kind of passed through it a little bit quickly, but what would happen if we didn't make these emergency sewer repairs?
Okay, so that happened.
It would be not good, right?
Yeah. One instant.
I don't want to be here for that one, but go ahead.
we all need sewer. But there was a collapse on Laurel Canyon a couple of years ago. The sewer crown gave up, and the soil wasn't there, and then the street collapsed, and there's a car into the sewer. So similar things can happen, and we are trying to avoid those incidences.
Thank you. And then this additional is my last question. The slip lining that we're adding for this project, how much will that add to the lifespan of this specific piece of our sewer?
Okay. So before, as I said, the sewers was the concrete sewer which used to corrode, but these are slip-lined sewer. They are like a composite materials, and they don't react with sewer gases. So our understanding that these sewers will not corrode, and the life of the sewer, I can't tell for sure. I will believe long time.
Okay. Thank you for adding that additional context. I just thought it was helpful to add for this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4, seconded by Commissioner Villegas. Any objection? Thank you, sir. Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any issue sending 4 forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item number 5 is a motion, authority for expenditure, Recology Blossom Valley Organic South, Sanitation in the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $5,830,000 to accept and receive the organic waste from the city's Central Los Angeles Recycling and Transfer Station and haul the organic waste to their facility in Lamont, California. Secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the associated service agreement. On number 5, Mr. Sachs.
Yes, thank you. Good morning again, Arnold Sachs. So a couple things about this. I believe last meeting you had an item on your agenda regarding organic pickup from blue bins or a new bin program where you're going to have the waste contractors pick up organic compounds as part of a new city recycling program, which, if based on any of the old recycling programs, is not going to really do that much. But instead of doing that, why not do composting? We've heard a couple of people talk about composting in neighborhood council districts. One time there was a huge public garden over by Alameda. There was quite a stir about it 10 years ago. Had some Hollywood activists show up, but it was a public garden. How much will it cost to haul this waste? Is that included in the contract? If you were to teach people how to do composting and give them compost bins, or maybe even a community compost bin, and maybe even have the opportunity to use some excess city property as gardens, I'm sure there's a lot of low-income areas and maybe even medium-income areas and maybe even high-rent districts where retirees would like to have an opportunity to garden in their downtime, and you could provide organic material and teach the people how to compost, doing outreach through one of these major city programs, and then you wouldn't have the extra cost of hauling this crap up to Lamont, California, and all the
2 minutes.
manpower and everything that's
Thank you,
involved
Mr.
in that.
Sachs.
Thank you.
Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you very much. Let me start off by saying bravo to the sanitation department. They are truly the hardest workers of the city. They are hands-on on all the dirt, the muck, and the filth. Thank you for cleaning Los Angeles or as best as you can, because again, our public servants are cutting corners. I have a two-pronged question. Would you include cans and bottles as organic waste? And secondly, why are you closing most bottle can recycling centers? And where can homeless people go and drop off recycled goods? Because many of these homeless individuals that I've come to know make their money that way. I don't, by the grace of God, but I want to find out about that. So if someone can elaborate on this, it is very important. We need to do as best as we can to pick up the filth, the trash. I wish they'd also pick up the homeless junkies, the homeless criminals, and the homeless pedophiles and stick them in a landfill. And by the way, could you elaborate more on organic waste? I don't quite understand that. If you can go into detail on that. And second and thirdly, would you please elaborate on the Department of Sanitation? How much do they get involved, and where does their involvement end? And again, we need to acknowledge the sanitation department workers. What they do every day, moving these trash bins, emptying them out and loading them onto the truck is phenomenal. I sit out there while I'm on the street watching them pull up to the Placita Church, haul out these trash bins, move the trash bin off the sidewalk onto the curb without tilting it or having it fall over, and then loading it onto the truck and then pulling it over the truck and dumping the trash into the truck. I mean, that takes a lot of work. I sit there and watch the dynamics of this because I want to know what these young kids do and how they work and how it's wear and tear on the body. I just was amazed to see these individuals. God bless America and God bless Donald Trump.
Mr. Potter, on number 5.
Good morning, President James, Commissioner Caloza and Villegas, Bureau representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Officer. My name is Robert Potter, Division Manager with LA Sanitation and Environment. LA San is requesting the authority for expenditure with Recology Blossom Valley South Organics for the receipt, processing, and composting of organic waste collected by the City of LA. In order to meet our zero waste goals of 90% diversion by 2025, SB 1383 legislation mandating the removal of organics from the landfill, and our mayor's goal of citywide residential collection for food waste by 2021, LA San is releasing an RFP for the processing of organic waste, which includes green waste, food waste, and other materials. An RFP is needed due to our current contract green bin processors and the city-owned and operated green waste facilities do not currently have the ability to process food waste. Composting, the process where organic waste is broken down to produce compost, which can be used for agriculture. The Recology facility is 200 acres large with an overall capacity of 3,750 tons per day. The facility can compost a combination of green waste, food waste, manure, and food soiled paper products. The finished products are marketed back to local farms that grow grapes, almonds, and other goods. The terms of the LOA will be for Recology to receive and transport the materials from Clark's to their composting facility in Lamont, close to Bakersfield. The city will provide 100 tons per day and up to 300 tons per day of commingled organic waste from our various programs, including Curb Your Food Waste LA, our residential pilot program for 18,000 households, the LAX Food Waste Program, and the Homeboy Diner and LA Mall at City Hall. Recology will also work with the city to perform compostability studies on a number of items, including food soil, paper, and biodegradable or compostable utensils and kitchenwares, which often do not break down in the necessary amount of time for the commercial composting process. Similar to the items that were brought today, we would actually be able to run them through the process. Thus, we are requesting the authority for expenditure to utilize Recology for organic waste composting as we continue through the RFP process for longer-term agreements.
Thank you, Mr. Potter. Commissioner Caloza, we'll start with you.
Thank you, President James. Thanks for the presentation, Robert. I just wanted to ask, I didn't hear if you said 100 or 1,000, but how many tons per day will the City of LA provide?
Roughly about 180 tons per day.
180 tons. And then how much is our contract up to in terms of how much tonnage we can give for this contract?
Well, it would be a sliding scale based on the pricing. So it's 5,900,000 is in the AE. So the price for the processing could range anywhere from $62 to $68 per ton based on the content of the food waste within the green waste. So a content below 30% will have a lower rate, and a content above 30% will have a higher rate. So it would be scalable, but the 180 tons would cover the use of that facility for the entire year.
Okay, I just had a question about that piece because I thought I read that it said that we could give up to 3,000 tons per day. And so I just wanted to understand a little bit more about like our utilization rate of like how much we're actually giving to Recology to compost.
Yeah, so the facility is permitted for 3,750 tons per day. We're going to be looking at using about 180 tons, and most of that is going to be for the existing programs. The pilot program we're running with 18,000 residential homes, Curb Your Food Waste, the LAX project, the Homeboy, and the mall, or any smaller city food waste programs that we designate for now. We have an RFP that we released in 2020 for an overall organics, and we'll have bid and award for probably multiple vendors that will cover up to our, roughly 2,000 tons a day, 1,600 tons a day of green waste that we process.
Okay, so that's about average of what we're getting right now as a city is like 1,600 to 2,000.
Yeah, yes,
okay.
That's correct.
Thank you, that's helpful to know. And then can you also just confirm this AFE, we're only paying for the amount that we're actually giving over to Recology to compost, right?
That's correct. It'll be invoiced based on tonnage. So every ton, for a ton, there'll be a fixed rate, and we'll only pay for that.
And then what's the timeline of the RFP? Again, I know you mentioned it last week, but it might be helpful since these are related items, and this is one of the contractors that we're working with to put a gap in place until the RFP is out. Okay,
so it's anticipated that we'll release the RFP to LA Bavin in June of 2020. So in the next 3 to 4 months, it'll be released. There'll be a pre-meet and then a submission. Our intent would be to have this in place by June of 2021, but we really need to have a comprehensive organics plan in by the end of December of 2021 because we roll out the food waste in the green bin program citywide.
And then last question for me, how much have we paid out to Recology since we've had the original contract in place? Do you know?
We haven't paid anything to Recology. We haven't provided, this
will be the very
first time, so there's no invoices owed or anything. Once this is approved and it's approved by accounting, then we'll start the process of utilizing the facility.
Got it. Okay, so this is their first time getting this contract with the city.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Villegas does not either, so I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5, seconded by Commissioner Villegas. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Thank you, Mr. Potter.
Thank you.
Any issue sending 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Wednesday, February 5th, 2020 by Commissioner Villegas? Any objection? Without objection, those meeting minutes will be approved. Agenda item number 6, Council Districts 5 and 11, requested contract termination. It's a motion from Contract Administration. Regarding Servitech Solutions Incorporated, the West Side Unit 1 Series to Multiple High Voltage Conversion Fiscal Year 2016-17 Street Lighting Project. There's been a requested amendment by Contract Administration, so I'll read the record as amended. Recommending that the board first find Servitech Solutions Incorporated in default of the contract for cause. Secondly, terminate the contract West Side Unit 1 Series Multiple High Voltage Conversion Fiscal Year 16-17 Street Lighting Project for cause effective 10 working days from today, which is February 12th, 2020. Those are 10 working days. That would not include weekends and holidays. And third, authorize Contract Administration and Street Lighting and the City Attorney to contact the Guarantee Company of North America, USA, the surety, and its attorneys to negotiate project completion. On agenda item number 6, Mr. Sachs.
Yes, thank you again, Arnold Sachs. So this is this a rehearing of is this another contract termination by Servitech, because you had two other ones on your agenda last week or beginning on Monday? And on this item, it's a couple things. Did they submit a bid for the Highway Safety Improvement Project by any chance? Would they be included in submitting a bid for the Highway Safety Improvement Project? I appreciate the fact that they're being, the contract is discontinued. I'm sorry, your motions were for, they didn't want to, the original Servitech contracts were voided because, or not voided, discontinued because the company wanted to back out of them. This contract is different. They didn't want to back out of this. The contract was changed because due cause. I know you said something about it, but I'm sorry I didn't catch all that. So I apologize for that. I would appreciate it if you could repeat that, and please let me know if I'm wrong, because I don't mind being wrong. I just would like to ask the question and get some straight up, some better information for the future. Thank you.
Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you. Speaking of street lighting, on a public note, I have consistently complained about that most lighting posts on the streets throughout the Los Angeles city have a cover missing, or not, in a sense, the lid of the from the lighting post that covers all the wires. They're all missing, and that is my concern. They're exposing all the wires, the circuitry, the cables inside, and my question is this a prelude to an off-the-grid terrorist act, be it a complete power outage or a criminal act? And again, it's a public safety measure, and we're concerned. Furthermore, this also poses a public safety threat for the children and the curious teens and the criminal deviants who will end up eventually filing a hefty lawsuit. And guess who pays for it? We, the homeless population. So, having said that, we need to take action. Go throughout the city of Los Angeles and count all the posts that have that cover missing. Throughout downtown LA, Little Tokyo, Chinatown, which I've gone to, they're all practically missing. In La Placita Olvera, the post, the lid, or the cover is missing. So all the wires are exposed, and anybody and everybody could stick their hands in. You find cats going in and out. I mean, come on. We need to do something. Somebody needs to walk around and put a cover, seal it, crazy glue it, or whatever, because it's exposed and it will cause hefty lawsuits. and we already are up the yin-yang with all these lawsuits. So please, let's do something about it. And again, the terrorist threat when it comes to the power grid and the power outage is also, I think, coupled with that. It's connected. I don't know. We need to investigate that. Please, there's a reason why all of them are missing. There's a reason. I don't know what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Wiles, I know we have a representative from Servitec here, but since they're a real party in interest as the subject of the Bureau's motion, would you put the motion and your position on the table so we can hear from them in response?
Okay, good morning. Sephi Wiles, Bureau of Contract Administration, here to request that the board recommend the motion as amended with respect to the default on this contract. So just to give you a little bit brief background, as in Monday's board hearing, in March 2017, Servitec was awarded 4 contracts by this board. They were for street lighting construction, and the scope was entailing conversion of existing high voltage series street lighting circuits to low voltage multiple circuits in various council districts throughout the city of Los Angeles. For this contract specifically, it was in CD5, and currently the work is only 10% completed. The project was awarded in March of 2017, and subsequent to that, today's date, we have 620 days past the end of the construction contract, which leads us to be here today.
Coming up on 2 years.
Correct. So again, four projects. We met on Monday, and the board has recommended that we terminate the 2 contracts that were presented, and this is going to be the third. The 4th contract that they had was completed 100%. It received a full final last year, and it's in the final punch list stages. With that said, we did outreach to Servitec. They did not appear on Monday. They are here today, and they may present to the board that we are withholding payments.
Well, Monday's, before you get there, Monday's agenda is done. I mean,
yes.
that item is not, Monday's agenda items are not on today's agenda.
Correct.
That hearing took place, and those items have been cleared, so I'm not interested in hearing from either the Bureau or Servitec about Monday's
Duly
agenda
noted.
items. But I am interested, Ms. Wiles, and you'd indicated that there may be some claims of...
Correct. There's 10 there were 10 change orders that were issued to this project specifically. Of the 10, 5 were paid. We received a request from Servitec to have the 5 remaining outstanding change orders paid to date, which is in the tune of about $160,000. That is being negotiated, and our inspection team is out there to ensure that the work was acceptably completed so that we can pay on that matter. Therefore, we recommend, if Servitec requests a continuance on this item, that the board deny that and receive the motion as is based on our recommendations. Also, I'd like to add, as of today's date, Servitec's license is still under suspension. Therefore, they can no longer perform work in the public right-of-way.
Okay, so Servitec is, as of today, as you indicated, still under suspension. They were as of Monday as well, even though I just said I didn't want to hear about Monday. I'm talking about Monday. But point being that hasn't changed since this week. Okay. So the other issue is, if I understand correctly, your request is that for no continuance is that if there is a claim made brought up this morning on the $160,000, contract administration's position is before we can pay that, we have to confirm through our inspectors that the work was done. If we confirm through our inspectors that the work is done, then we will pay the amount that's owed.
Correct.
Okay? But your point is that that is separate and apart from the motion that you have before us today, which relates in large part to the only 10% completed, almost 2 years late, and the fact that we have a contractor that doesn't have a license.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from Ms. Wiles before we move to Servitec? All right, thank you, Ms. Wiles. I have Jeff Reyes from Servitec.
Hi, good morning. Morning.
So my request is for continuance, and the reason why I'm asking for that request is that the Bureau and I have not come to an agreement yet in regards to the change orders of monies owed. In addition to that, I just received notice 6 days ago that I am not in compliance and I need about 30 days to reactivate my license to reach out to CSLB to do that. So I'm requesting for a total of 45 days to close out this project.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me, anything further? Sir, you can have a seat. Let me talk to my attorney here. Mr. Jordan, regarding the issue that Ms. Wiles, well, now the issue that's before us from both sides, really, on the continuance request, is the city attorney's office satisfied with the option that contract administration has placed on the table, given what we just heard from Mr. Reyes, that even though there are some outstanding issues regarding change orders, potentially claims made on work that Servitec will contend has been done, contract administration has said we are interested in confirming that that work has been done. Is there anything that would preclude the Board of Public Works from granting the motion as written by contract administration that would still leave the opportunity for payment of anything outstanding in reference to change orders or work completed that Mr. Reyes has put on the table?
The recommended action will not impair or affect the board's ability or the department's ability to pay on the change order work or any work that was acceptably performed. So the recommended action to terminate the West Side Unit 1 series contract will have no effect on change orders and payment of the work that was done. And also the West Side Playa del Rey series, that's at full and finals in the punch list. Of course, the board's action does not even touch that project. So of course, any work, any change orders, anything will be unaffected. However, he doesn't have a license, so
when you don't have a license, you can't work in the public right of way.
I don't know the nature of any of the punch list stuff. So if any further action on that project, which is not before you, obviously any work that requires a licensed contractor can't be done by the unlicensed contractor. But your question is, will it have an effect on the ability to pay out on work that was already done? And no, this will not affect that.
And for the city to move forward through the surety to get the work done, we need to take the steps requested by contract administration?
Correct. We don't really have any ability to talk to the surety about this project until the project is first terminated.
Okay, well then that makes the decision for me based on what contract administration is asking. We'll start with Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. Can I ask you a few additional questions, Seffi? Thank you for the additional information today, and I just had a few follow-up questions. Can you confirm again what date the license was suspended for Servitec?
So we ran the license on February 7th. So it was the first week of February.
Okay.
We knew from the California License Board that Mr. Reyes would disassociate from his license effective January 31st. When we ran it on the 31st, it was still active and current, and usually the CSLB takes about 3 to 4 days to update, and the next week we ran the license. It had been under suspension at that time.
Disassociate from his license, what does that mean?
He's no longer the CEO of his license, his company. He's dissolving his company, essentially.
Okay. And then just for awareness, is this the first time the license has been suspended?
Unfortunately not. In August 2019 of last year, we were made aware that his license, again, he would disassociate, and it happened. It occurred from August through, we gave him 30 days to reinstate, and his his license didn't reinstate until November. So this is the second occurrence.
So the last time when you, gave additional time to be in compliance, to have a license, it took longer than 30 days?
Correct. It was double the time, at least.
I see. And so this, what the Bureau of Contract Administration is asking us to do today, this is the first I've seen it before I've come to board, but how often does this happen? Do we get to this point where we're going to terminate a contract?
It's very infrequent. I believe the last time we came to board was in 2016, and we haven't been back since, to my knowledge. In fact, it's very hard to find records on this type of nature, so it's very infrequent.
Okay, so I know this is obviously a tough situation for everybody involved, and that this is the last possible solution that I think everybody was trying to get to for this specific item. I think one thing I did want to just understand too is because this project is 628 days late, you said, right, for one of these projects, what does that mean for us in terms of how we work with a surety? Like, are we in a position to... Good.
We haven't terminated the contract yet, so really that type of formal discussion with the surety hasn't taken place.
Okay.
But there may be issues there that will be discussed. And certainly staff, when after those communications occur, can report back.
Okay.
Obviously, that's a long period of time, and so it may be raised as an issue.
Okay.
The sooner we start negotiations with the surety, the sooner we can commence with resolving and closing out these projects.
Right. And, you okay? And 620 days delayed, is that common for our projects, or is this double, 3 times as long, just for our understanding and context?
It's very uncommon.
Okay. I don't have any additional questions at this time, but thank you for sharing that additional information.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Just one more clarifying question before I go to Commissioner Villegas. Did we fund this out of our budget, or did we have some help from other places?
It appears that the funding came from the street lighting fund.
Okay. I just put it on the table because if there were other sources that we would be seeking reimbursement for, the question was going to go to the city attorney on whether or not the delay in this case could cost us some of our funding reimbursement as well. But it doesn't look like that's an issue here. Okay. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you, President James. But just point of clarification, I think we're going to be using our own money to finish up this project, correct?
Well, there are monies remaining in the contract, so depending on how the negotiations go with street lighting and the surety and ourselves, the monies remaining will then complete the project.
Okay. And if you can explain any kind of information or any I don't know how to pronounce the word. Obviously, I'm having trouble. But anything that's relevant to a debarment in this case?
We're not seeking debarment at this time. I believe that moving forward with the motion as is, we can resolve that, and negotiations will take place with the surety, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. I am disappointed with the contractor that was unable to fulfill his side of the bargain, knowing very well when we come into this, even if it's a small business. So not doing business with somebody like that in the future, what kind of protection do we have?
Our recommendation is, again, how the contract's let. Perhaps PSL can find other ways to let their contracts with respect to a pre-qualified list so that contracts can be awarded that way. There is no guarantee, having been the lowest responsible bidder. They have to have the fitness capacity and quality to do the work and perform the work diligently. And unfortunately, in this case, it didn't happen.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. I am based on what I've heard and the fact that, by the way, violate my own rule again. I'm going to borrow one of your words, Commissioner Villegas, on disappointment. Last time that this occurred with this same contractor on another item, there was a continuance that was requested, and during the time of the continuance, the license was suspended. So the continuance history here hasn't been of particularly beneficial to anyone. I would be disinclined to grant the requested continuance. The Bureau's position is that you would like for us to move forward today, correct?
Yes.
All right, then that would be my motion as amended. Is there a second on that? By Commissioner Villegas. Any objection? Without objection, that'll be the order this morning. Any issue sending number 6 forthwith? We'll send number 6 forthwith. Thank you, everyone, for your participation this morning. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk this morning?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned this Wednesday morning. Have a nice rest of the week.